Both Army and Navy football are off to an extremely hot start to begin the 2024 season. If Navy pulls off the win tomorrow afternoon, then it'll be the first time since 1945 that both Army and Navy have started a season 4-0. For Navy, it has been a long rebuild as they have not been to a bowl game since 2019. This is the story of Navy football in 2024 and how they are putting together a great season once again. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know which service academy you root for in the comment section below. Back in 2019, Navy football looked to be putting together a special run that was reminiscent of their run they went on in 2015 and 2016, earning berths in the American Athletic Conference Championship game and being around the college football playoff conversation. Navy finished the 2019 season 11-2 and snapped Army's 3-game win streak in the Army-Navy game. They finished the year ranked in the top 20 of the AP Top 25 polls as well. The program would start to struggle though, as they would go 3-7 in 2020, 4-8 in 2021, and 4-8 in 2022, leading to Ken Niumatalolo not returning as Navy's head coach for the 2023 season. It was the first time Navy was looking for a head coach since 2007, when Paul Johnson left to take the Georgia Tech job, and was one of the worst stretches for the Naval Academy's football team since Charlie Weatherby's 9 wins in 4 seasons from 1998 to 2001. It was tough watching Niumatalolo depart from Navy, as for most of my childhood, he was their head coach, going 109-83, leading Navy to 11 bowl games and an 11-5 record in the Army-Navy rivalry game. The man chosen to replace Niumatalolo was his defensive coordinator and safeties coach, Brian Newberry. Newberry's path to Navy was not your usual college football coaching path. He's originally from Oklahoma and played college football at Baylor, where he helped the team finish as Co-Southwest Conference champions in 1994, though his playing career would be derailed by injuries. When he graduated college in 1998, he became the first member of his family to earn a college degree. While a lot of the future head coaches of college football either go into a professional playing career after college or go right into coaching, Newberry would begin to create his own path. His first job was at Glacier National Park in Montana, where he gave guided bus tours in a vintage 1930s convertible bus. Newberry would drive a nearly 35-mile road through the park, through the Rockies, over the Continental Divide, and deliver a Go to the Sun road tour. He had 2 weeks to prepare for the job and felt like he was a terrible tour guide back in the day, but got better the more and more tours he gave. He would also fall in love with photography during this time period of his life, almost choosing to go the photography route instead of the coaching route. Photography helped invoke a sense of creativity for Newberry, something he now uses when it comes to coaching, telling ESPN last year, "I think I'm a little more type B than type A," which is probably unusual for coaches. Most of them are pretty organized. That's not a strong suit for me. It hasn't been, and I've had to develop, so I think the creativity piece is something that I may be pretty good at. After teaching for a bit, Newberry got the itch to coach, and with the help of the man who recruited him to Baylor, Grant Teef, Newberry would send a letter to nearly every college coach in the country looking for an opportunity. Steve Roberts from Southern Arkansas would answer him and brought him in as a grad assistant down in Magnolia, Arkansas. While at Southern Arkansas, he learned more about the wishbone offense and how to operate as the underdog. Roberts explained, "We didn't have the biggest budget, the best facilities. We did a lot of that ourselves, painting the field or building meeting rooms, or making 125 lockers for a locker room. We did it all." Brian was a part of that. Following Southern Arkansas, Newberry bounced through Washington and Lee, Lehigh, back to Washington and Lee, Elon, Sewanee, Northern Michigan, and Kennesaw State, coaching for nearly 20 years before getting his first FBS job offer at Navy. Newberry wouldn't trade his path for anything, explaining, "I needed to be a GA and get beat down and cut grass and paint fields and clean bathrooms in the locker rooms and do all that stuff. It was awesome for me because as a GA at Southern Arkansas, I had my own recruiting area. I ran a room early on. Most don't get to do that. In retrospect, that was the biggest thing that could possibly happen to me, because I got humbled a little bit and I did a lot of groundwork, which I needed to do." Newberry finished as a semifinalist for the Broyles Award in 2019 and built an aggressive, unpredictable, and sometimes dominant defense at Navy and his previous destinations. He fell in love with Navy and coach have a great staff, great support, and players who are so resilient. They never flinch. No matter how tough things get, they keep coming to work. They inspire me. When it came to Newberry's coaching staff, he promoted linebacker coach first season as head coach. Things did not go Navy's way, but they did see improvement from the previous few seasons. They got blown out by Notre Dame 42-3 in their season opener in Ireland and lost to both Air Force and Army in close games 17-6 and 17-11 respectively, but beat Wagner, North Texas, Charlotte, UAB, and ECU to finish the year 5-7, just missing out on a bowl game even though they returned over 17 starters, which was the most since 1990. They came up just 1 yard short of making a bowl game in their game against Army. This rebuild was not going to be easy for Newberry & Co. While players can transfer out from the Naval Academy, the school is unable to bring in transfers via the transfer portal, whether that be from the FCS or trickle down from the Power 4 programs like their conference rivals can. The school also does not offer NIL opportunities, and you must complete your service requirement before going pro. You go to the Service Academy, you are going for the world-class education and because you want to serve the country. Being able to play football is just a bonus. Heading into the 2024 season, Navy was expected to struggle once again, being picked to finish 11th in the American by Phil Steele. They returned 14 starters from last year, though. They were projected to be underdogs in 9 of their 12 games this year and brought in Drew Cronick, who runs a wing T offense. Navy fired Chestnut after finishing the year averaging 17.7 points per game, which was only 0.4 points more than ECU's conference worst number. That decision has seemingly paid off, as Navy's offense is flying high so far this season. They have scored at least 38 points in each of their first 3 games and lead the AAC 10th nationally with a whopping 47.7 points per game. The Midshipmen are one of the just 4 FBS programs, including Army, to average at least 300 yards rushing per contest. They destroyed Bucknell in the season opener 49-21, followed by a smearing of Temple 38-11 before shocking the world and beating Memphis at home by double digits. Memphis was viewed to be the favorites to win the American this year and possibly make the college football playoff. They were just outside the AP Top 25, earning the most votes outside the Top 25, so basically being ranked the 26th best team after beating Florida State the week before. Navy gained 566 total yards on just 53 plays, averaging 10.6 yards per play, meaning they averaged a first down every play. Memphis held Florida State to 1.5 yards per carry. Navy, on the other hand, rushed for 361 yards with a healthy 9.3 yards per carry average and 5 touchdowns. Quarterback Blake Horvath threw for 192 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, completing 9 of his 12 passes, while also rushing for 211 yards on 12 carries. The junior quarterback has thrown for 412 yards and 5 touchdowns to 1 interception so far this season, and has 366 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. The Midshipmen play UAB, Air Force, and Charlotte in their next 3 games, game on December 6th, and then meet in the traditional matchup on December 14th in Landover, Maryland. Army and Navy are getting screwed by the selection committee as their annual matchup will not be connected to the final college football playoff rankings, meaning to even qualify for the playoffs, they would need to make it to the American Athletic Conference title game to meet the 12-game threshold. Both teams are still in play to make the playoffs, and it's so fun to be able to talk about the academies in a positive light, as I love when they play well. I hope one of the academies can be in play for the college football playoffs come season end. What do you think? How well does Navy do the rest of the season? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.